Because we're playing Peterborough, Dad, a lot of people have dubbed it the Barry Fry final, which I think is
Yeah.
quite nice, actually,
it's brilliant.
because he's done a lot for both clubs
I've-
over the years, hasn't he? And I hope he gets a roaring reception at Wembley.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. Now, myself and Matt have been so busy with the pre-match videos and post-match videos because of the schedule. We've had no time to do any other real content apart from those type of podcasts, which we've really enjoyed. But it's really nice now that Birmingham City have a bit of a break with the international break in March, that we can do something slightly different. And today we're going to do one of our unscripted videos, and there's so much happening at Blues, as always. And in these unscripted videos, we haven't really got anything, scheduled or practiced or rehearsed. We just want to have a general chat about what's going on at Birmingham City. And Matt, it's nice, isn't it, to do something slightly different? What's on your mind?
Yeah, it's good because there's two videos I really enjoy doing, Dad, when we have the time. It's the unscripted ones and the score predictions, but of course, they're both a bit of fun, aren't they? They're just the casual ones which we fit in when there's time in the calendar. And I think the EFL trophies made a big difference this year because of the backlog of fixtures. Stuff gets rearranged, international breaks, things get rearranged, and we're now hitting, well, we have been hitting, before this break, the what would you call it, like the fallout from that, because we've been having a game every Saturday and Tuesday for a month now, 6 weeks now?
No, since January, virtually. Since January, virtually.
3 months nearly of Saturday and Tuesday games. So I think what I'm looking forward to most is the players getting the rest. We can tell, Dad, we saw it against Northampton, we saw it against various other teams this back end of the season. They're tired. Their legs look tired. They're sloppy passing moments in games, they look tired. So I'm looking forward to the players having a rest, coming back energised. We obviously have the cup final in a couple of weeks' time, which I'm excited for as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you where we'll start, Dad, and I want to get your opinion on this. Wagner was seen in Downing Street, wasn't he? So what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's great, isn't it? That it shows that a lot of fans outside of Birmingham don't understand. They have got no idea, really don't understand what's going on here at our club. They see us obviously spending a lot of money, on our squad in the summer. And they see the news about the stadium, but they don't really understand that what and how serious our owners are. And I think with Tom at number 10, it just shows you that he's clearly lobbying government. He went there with the West Midlands mayor to try and obviously drum up support, and because obviously you build a stadium that we want to build of that size, it's going to need infrastructure and all this type of thing. And also on the back of what got a lot of publicity at the same time was Manchester United's announcement that they were going to build a new stadium, but they've got government backing, but they're Manchester United. And I think Tom Wagner is saying, well, actually, I'm an American investor. I'm going to spend £2 to £3 billion in your country. What are you going to do for me? Yeah. Fair enough.
Also, Birmingham's a fantastic city, Dad. We have not had the investment or as much investment as we would like over the years, especially where Wagner's looking at building the stadium. It's going to benefit the community. It's going to create jobs. It's going to have transport links. When you think about all those things, it kind of needs the input of the mayor and the government. It has to have involvement. It has to have involvement on all those different levels. So for me, it's fantastic to see. I mean, when you look at a picture, Dad, it just looks right. Like, it looked natural for Wagner to be on the steps of number 10. Prime Minister, Tom Wagner.
Somebody said that in social media, didn't they? Is he the next Prime Minister? Yeah. But yeah, so fair play to Tom. And obviously, it just shows you that, there's probably huge amounts. As fans, we know nothing about that's going on in the background. And I think that was a big step, that was, to say to the government, look, you're backing Manchester United, but look how much I'm spending in your
and it's a fair
planning
point.
to invest in your country.
I think it's a fair point, Dad.
I think it is as well. So well done to Tom, and keep that up, because obviously I think we'll start to see more information about that as the weeks and months go on. So that's good news as well. Obviously, you mentioned Wembley as well. We're all excited about that, aren't we?
I can't wait, Dad. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we were in priority one. I think I got our tickets within about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Had to make sure we got those locked in. And it's been great. I mean, what was nice is, you've got the younger generation which do the tickets online and get the tickets, all the reference numbers. But then you have, what was nice is on social media, I saw big queues outside the stadium. And again, if you do look at the general consensus of the people that went to get the tickets, it is the older generation of the fan base. I think they still like to go to the stadium and get their tickets. It's great. You have the position of both. But what's great is people are excited. We get another day out of Wembley. I can't wait to walk up that that famous Wembley walkway, hopefully half cut with a couple of beers in my system, and really enjoy the game. Hopefully the weather's nice. It's not going to be the deal breaker, but hopefully the sun's out. It's a nice day at Wembley, and hopefully we can bring back the Vertu Trophy. Why not?
That'll be brilliant. I saw those queues as well on social media that you're talking about, and people can, and just reminded me where years ago when I used to literally, because I'd be the one to get our tickets, wouldn't I, as the dad?
Yeah.
And
well, I was like 8 at the time, so you can't hold that against me.
Well, but I remember being in a couple of times queuing up for the Worthington Cup final and the playoff final, trying to get tickets. Both of those were at the Millennium Stadium.
Yeah.
And I remember being at St.Andrews at 2:00 in the morning and thinking, oh, I'll be front of the queue. And literally you get there and it's almost like it's daytime. There's like cars and people everywhere. And I remember queuing up and snaking around the Tilton. Yeah. Being in there for hours. So I do understand what these people who go to the stadium are going through to get their tickets. But it's so much easier now where you literally can just get up, go online and get them. And it's great to have our tickets. Yeah. Really looking forward to that. Bit of controversy. I don't want to go into this in detail about the OSCs and ticket allocation and stuff like that. There was a bit of a storm about that last week, wasn't there?
There was,
the only thing I didn't like about that was the lack of transparency. In that, I think the club are trying to do something good by unveiling this surprise flag or whatever they got planned. That's fine, but they allocated tickets in quite a prime case for what they wanted to liaise or do this with one of the OSCs, and that's absolutely fine. But it's just a lack of transparency. Is that there was posts on social media about certain sort of information about don't let anybody else know about this. I didn't like that type of thing. But ultimately, and then the Blues reacted to that, saying that, well, we were allocating those tickets based upon priority windows, but you're sort of not really, are you? Yeah. Because if you're removing a bunch of tickets that are not available to everybody else, the priority windows are irrelevant because you're just basically giving it to a group of people. So there were things like that, and it was a bit of a storm in a teacup. And we have got an extra allocation now, so we've got 43,000 tickets in total.
Well, I will say that there's a lot of good people behind the scenes that do a lot of good for this club. Yeah. And I just think, they got the communication element of it wrong.
That's the point.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. But there are some people behind the scenes that just work tirelessly to put Blues on the map and do the best they can for the community and the fans. And I get that. But Blues, let's communicate it properly. It was like, I remember Huddersfield away last season, Dad. Few people got Huddersfield tickets through their OSC, and there was a storm about that as well. So I think as long as there's a bit of transparency and the communication's correct, people can understand it a little bit better. It's the behind-the-scenes sneakiness, isn't it, that people don't like? Anyway, we're not that kind of... we'll move on from this. I think the conversation has already been had on social media. The anger's already been out, but I think you're valid in raising it.
Well, it's unscripted, isn't it? So, it's just something that's happening at the club and that we saw. But, at the end of the day, it's going to be a fantastic day for all Blues fans. We're all looking forward to it.
And because we're playing Peterborough, Dad, a lot of people have dubbed it the Barry Fry final, which I think is quite nice, actually.
I think it's brilliant.
Because he's done a lot for both clubs over the years, hasn't he? And I hope he gets a roaring reception at Wembley.
Okay, here's a question for you, Matt. I just thought of this as well. Does it make any difference, or do you care if we get the points record?
I would like to get the points record as a statement win because we've spent the money. We've had it thrown in our face all season, haven't we? We've had it thrown in our face all season. Birmingham City, even if they break the points record, it should be expected because they've spent 300 trillion on players this season in League One. But I've said on a previous podcast, yes, I think we will, and I would love to. But actually, I think as long as we get promoted and we win the league, when I strip it back, actually, I don't actually really care. I just want to get back into Championship football next season. It would be nice. It would be a statement to do. But actually, I'm not going to do a U-turn because it would be great to get the points record. I still think we're on track to do it as well. Ultimately, getting promoted back to the Championship is the top priority.
That's exactly how I feel. If I'm absolutely honest, I really don't give a monkeys about the points record. I really don't. I hope if we get it, fantastic, and it's brilliant. But to me, this season was always about getting promoted. That's the priority.
100%.
We're going to do that. I think that where we are in the league now and the amount of games that have got left and the fact that other teams have to play each other, we are going to get promoted. And I think it's just a matter of when. And that's not being arrogant. That's just look at the league table.
Stats, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the league table and seeing where we are. I'd love to, just finish the season positively. And if that means that we don't get the points record, it don't really matter to me. I mean, it's great if we get it, but it's not on my mind as something that.
No. I don't go into every game, Dad, thinking we need 3 points here to get to 103. There's no 103 ticker in my bedroom, and it's going it's going up or down every time we get a point. It's not like that. It's just if we hit it, it would be lovely to make that statement. However, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not massively fussed about it. It would just be a nice to get. But I think, to be honest with you, Dad, even if we got it, Blues break the League One record, no one's going to give us a second of credibility or credit for
because
it.
We should have done it.
Because they're going to say we bought the league, which we have. Which is which is fine. I don't actually care. What does Tom Wagner say? FEA, you know, we do what we do. We keep our business on the pitch, and we will have the last laugh eventually.
Well, I was thinking back, Matt, to this time last year and where we were as a club, the turmoil we had with all of our managers, and this is the time of the year last year when we had Tony Mowbray, unfortunately, had to step down because of his medical condition, and Mark Venus was in charge, and we were losing all those games, and the club was just sinking down the table, and the three bottom clubs were catching up, and we were losing at home to Watford and to Middlesbrough and away at Ipswich, and this is where we were at this time last season. Now, I think now to this season, we're in a lower league, no doubt about that. But the feeling at the moment is so positive that it's a nice place to be, isn't it?
And I think that's why we have a little bit of fan fatigue, because we feel the pressure. We're expected to go into every game winning. We have a fantastic home record. I mean, St.Andrews has just been a joy to go down this year, hasn't it? It's been absolutely wonderful. And me and you have had some great memories on the road, Dad. You know, in fact, I'll take those memories with me for the rest of my life. You know, some Lincoln away, Wickham away come to mind. League One football this season, it was a bit of an anomaly and a blip in our club's history, I do believe. You know, some bad decisions last season got us there, and some unfortunate luck as well. A mixture of a lot of things came together for Blues to get relegated last season. I'm making no excuses. We deserve to be playing League One football. But I think that pressure that comes with spending that money, that pressure that comes with expected to win every game, I think that's why it's been extra tiring this season. You know, it has felt like a bit of a slog at times. I'm still loving it. Love the Blues, love going down there, but it's like, I'm looking forward to a break, international break, and also season break as well.
Yeah, I agree, and it's been a tough season for the fans as well. We always talk about the players, don't we, and fatigue, but don't forget, the fans paying their money, working full time or have other responsibilities in life, and getting down to the club and getting to the away games. The support we've had has been fabulous this season.
You know what? It was an example of that, Dad. Northampton away, they only gave us, I think, 1,200 tickets. 1,300, and it made it to silver.
Yeah.
That has never happened this season on that amount of tickets. I think that's a result of people's money in terms of going to the cup final. It's an expensive season doing the away games, and also tiredness.
Yeah.
People want a little bit of a break and a rest, don't they? So the fact that Northampton made it down to silver showed me that the fans were a little bit tired.
I think you're right. I think the international break that's coming up now is going to give us 2 weeks gap, isn't it? And I think that gives the fans the opportunity to recharge as well and get ready, like the players, get ready for that final push. I think when Shrewsbury comes along,
Shrewsbury.
There's
someone in the comments that always calls us out.
I know, and it's the first time I've said that in ages. So when Shrewsbury comes along again, I think we're all going to be buzzing and up for it and ready for it, because we all need that break as well.
Agreed.
I'll be glad when this season is over because of the standard of the refereeing as well. It's been appalling, hasn't it? And that as a former referee myself, I wasn't obviously a league referee, but I was a senior county referee. I don't know how tough the job is, but the consistency is really poor. The decision making is poor, and it's difficult as well because with a televised game, and in fact everything is recorded now. You've always got the opportunity to analyse a referee's decision, whereas in my level, it was just decision, and then after the game, people
had pub blokes, weren't it?
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I don't know why you did that, Dad, for so long.
I enjoyed it, but I'm just saying that even I can appreciate the job of a referee, but the standard is so poor.
Weren't you known as the cleaner of the West Midlands? Was it Cleany, whatever his name was?
A lot of the players when I used to referee used to think I was a woman. They kept saying the referee's Bianca. I had no idea what they meant, but it was a tough role actually. So I do understand the referees, but again, I think we have to mention that the standard in this level is really poor.
By the way, I could reference 1,000 things this season that I've got wrong, but because it's fresh in my mind because it happened last week, fair enough. The refereeing's a tough job. It's a thankless job, if we're going to be honest. But when a player's taken a throw-in and his foot is half a yard over the line, how are you not flagging that?
I don't get that.
How are you also giving...
That's particularly when the assistant referee is actually standing right there.
Yeah, but the player has to go past the assistant referee effectively to do the throw-in. Anyway, and then how are you? I think for me, Dad, the biggest killer on the refereeing has been the inconsistency. How many times have we seen opposition players do something, nothing happens. The Blues player does it 5 minutes later, and they get a yellow card, and vice versa. It hasn't just been Blues here. I'm not saying that the refs have been terrible for Blues. The refs have just been terrible overall. I've seen it on the reverse as well. And the biggest one for me, Dad, do you remember when, I can't remember who it was earlier in the season, their goalkeeper was burning the clock down every 2 seconds, every time they got it. Allsop does it once and he gets a yellow card.
No, I can't.
And that was at St.Andrews, but I can't remember who it was. It was early on in the season.
I remember the Shrewsbury goalkeeper doing that as well when they were winning and stuff like that. But they do at this level, don't they? But I think that's something that needs to be addressed. For me as well, just one final point really is that you see a lot of comments from our own fans and opposition fans talking about next season, saying that that they, if we play like this, then we'll get found out in the championship, etc. No. Forget about all that. This is this season. Let's get over the line first this season, and then wait and see what happens in the summer transfer window. Because I think, once again, I think as Blues fans, we're going to be very surprised by the amount of business that we're going to do, and also the players that we're going to bring in.
Also, it's impossible to play free-flowing football when the majority of teams put 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah,
and fair enough. I know we have to be patient as Blues fans. Chris Davies wants us playing possession football. I think, and I stand by it, I think we'll be a significantly better Championship club than we will be a League One club, because teams will come at us a little bit more. When I say come at us, I'm not saying the high press. I'm not saying they're going to pressure us. They will do that as well. But free-flowing, they won't be going down every 2 seconds with injuries. They won't be knocking the ball out. The keeper won't be burning the clock down from minute 1. It will be a free-flowing season next season. And I think we will do significantly better next season than we think. In fact, when I say significantly better, I think a goal would be mid-table in Championship next season. I'd be perfectly happy with that as a goal.
I just want to be competitive, because we've had so many seasons in the Championship where we've struggled. And I think when we do go back there, we just want to be competitive. But my point is, Matt, is that there's no point in speculating about what will happen next season, because I believe that the squad will be different again. It says that it takes around about 3 to 4 transfer windows to actually develop a really good, strong, competitive squad. We've only really had one. I mean, you could count the January transfer window, but we didn't do much business. So I'm counting the summer one. So I think we've got another 2 or 3 to add, change, update the squad, whatever you want to call it, to make us competitive. So there's no point in speculating at this point about how well we're going to do next season, because we already know we've got Phil Neumann coming in. He's going to obviously be an addition to the back. And as I say, I think Chris Davies and the club would have looked at this current squad and where we are and who's doing what and make decisions on them. But I think we're going to see a change in the summer as well. It won't be nothing like last summer's transfer window.
I think there'll be, I think you've said this before, I think there'll be a few surprises as well.
There will be, without a doubt.
I think some players who we think are safe will be sold, and some players will shock us who come in as well.
Don't forget, Matt, we'll be in the Championship as well, so we're going to be more attractive for players to come in as well. So what I'm saying is, let's enjoy the rest of this season as it is. That's my point. Don't worry about next season. Enjoy and look forward to the transfer window when it opens and see what happens there. And I think we're going to be surprised by some of the players that are going to go out, sold, and also some of the players that will come in. But there's no point in saying, if this Blues team goes into the Championship now, this will happen, because this Blues team is not going to go into the Championship. It's going to be a lot of them, but it's going to be a different team.
It'll be better.
In theory.
We'll be fine in the Championship. In my opinion, we'll be fine. As you say, conversation for next season, I totally get that, Dad. But I think the point stands is that the football in League One is completely different to the football in the Championship. It's more physical, it's more direct. They burn the clock down, they do game management.
Knock lumps at you.
Not lumps at you. In Championship, it's a lot more technical, a lot more skillful players, faster pace, faster passing, build-up play. They play it from the back a lot more. It's a different game. You know, when you go to the football, and then the Premier League's even different, it's even faster, even more intense. So as you move through the football pyramid, it's different styles of football. And I just think that the Championship will complement us a little bit more. But anyway, more TBC next season, I guess.
Exactly. And there's one final point before we finish, which we can't not mention, is the women's Birmingham City women's team, top of their league, 5 games to go. They're top of the Championship, and got a great chance of going into the WSL. So good luck to Amy Merricks and the ladies, and hopefully they can finish the job and just like the men's team, and get a double promotion. Win the Vertu Trophy. What a season that would be.
And this comes back to Wagner for me, Dad, and Knighthead. They said when they bought this club, they wanted to invest in all areas, and they are. The men's are doing well, the women are doing well, the academies have all got contracts and stuff. So they haven't just focused on the men's team, Knighthead and Wagner. They're focused on the entire Birmingham City club, and it's fantastic to see.
It is. So, obviously there's always plenty to talk about at the Blues, isn't there? And, we're in a good place, and it's nice to have these types of conversations where, things are really, really positive. But we'd love to know your thoughts thoughts and comments. So please add them below the podcast. Anything that we've spoken about and you've got any comments, please add those. Or maybe there's points that you want to obviously bring up in the comments that we haven't, then please add those. It's always great to read and to respond to your comments. If you did like this podcast, as always, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcast on Spotify, you'll also find us on there now. And you'll see the handles appearing on the screen for all these channels right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you'd like to, then don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button. And if you want notifications every time we put a new podcast out, there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you press that, then you'll get your notifications. So that's it for this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And myself and Matt will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.